Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I make this Jamaican style fricassee chicken with some yellow rice. And this was a quick evening dinner that you can do in an hour. Listen, I never remember to take the chicken out of the fridge, so I had to just grab a chicken on my way home from the grocery store. And as you can see, I'm using a whole chicken, and I'm going to cut this up in bigger sizes because I'm not doing stew chicken. Make sure you subscribe because I think I'll be doing also a stew chicken video very soon. So I will be cutting up my chicken into different sections, you know, the leg, the thigh, the wing, the breast. The thigh, sometimes I cut that in two, and the breast, I think I usually get about 3 pieces from each breast. So this will be like a 2-day dinner and enough for lunch, because sometimes my husband he prefers to take home cooked meals for his lunch to work. Who doesn't like to save a little money, right? While I'm cutting up the chicken, I'm also cleaning it up really good by removing most of the skin, removing those extra feathers, and you know, just take out the extra stuff that we don't need from our chicken. You see, like that feather, that's what I'm talking about. So cut it up really good and cut it up to your size. Remove all of those stuff that you don't need. All right, enjoy the video, guys, and let me know where you're tuning in from. And you, if you're an island girl also from Jamaica, let me know which part you're watching, where you're watching from. Actually, yes, I want to know. Enjoy the video. Now, after everything is cut up, you're going to add your chicken to your container and you're going to wash your chicken really good. Of course, I'm an island girl, so of course, no questions asked. We wash with chicken over here. I usually use some vinegar. After you wash your chicken, then I'm going to go ahead and season my chicken. I usually use the same regular seasonings in my cupboard. My paprika, my onion powder, garlic powder, some pimento. I like to crush my pimento. We're island girl, we love with spices really bad. Let me know, what spices do you use? What is your favorite go-to seasoning when you're cooking your chicken? I like that Cool Runnings seasoning also. Usually I use a Maggi one, but I'm out of Maggi, and I find the Maggi really expensive these days in Canada. Here in Canada, I add some black pepper and whichever other seasonings that you like to use. Sometimes I have a batch of green seasoning in my fridge, but I've been out of green seasoning for a while, and I haven't gotten the chance as yet somehow to make my regular batch of green seasoning. So for now, I'm just using the seasonings that I have in my cupboard. You can do that also. You use as much or as little seasoning as you like. Now I added some soya sauce also and a little browning, because somehow we like our chicken on the darker side. Island girl, again, how do you like your chicken, on the lighter color or on the darker side? That's my browning, and I usually use the Grace browning. I get these in the grocery stores. Usually food basics are no frills. You will find your browning, or if you have any Caribbean, African Caribbean stores near you. Once that is done, I like to use my gloves to rub that in, massage the chicken really nice to get all the seasonings within every groove of the chicken. And after that is nice to combine, we didn't have much time to marinate it. As I said, this is a quick evening dinner, less than an hour. So while that is, you know, give it just maybe a few minutes, but not the big hours of marinating. I'm just going to cover that up while I work on my rice. And this will be my yellow rice. To my rice cooker, I'm going to add a few cups of rice there. And yes, we're going to wash our rice. We wash everything around here. Everything around here. Let me know, do you prefer to use a rice cooker for your rice, or you like to use your pot, stovetop, rice style? Let me know in the comments. And guys, don't forget to like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. I see the channel is growing, and I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. Now, after the rice has been washed, usually I give it maybe about 2 rinsing, washing off really good. Then I added back to the rice cooker. Then I will, yeah. Oh, by the way, do you know how to test your rice? The correct level of testing. So usually you add the water, and then when it goes up to about an inch, That is the finger test that I use, right up there to the first mark there of your finger. And that works all the time. That is a perfect trick of not getting your rice too soft or too shelly. By the way, how do you like your rice? Are you a shelly rice eater or a softer rice eater? I like mine a little on the softer side. Now you're going to start frying your chicken, browning your chicken. You're going to add a little oil to your frying pan, and once it's really hot, then you're going to add your chicken pieces by pieces. Now this is fricassee chicken, so we want to brown it, color it on both sides. This is not brown stew chicken. That's a whole different technique of cooking, which I said I'll be doing a video on brown stew chicken, so make sure that you are subscribed to see that video when it drops, right? So you let your chicken fry nicely on both sides. You don't want to crowd up the pot, overcrowd the pot too much. Just as enough, like that I did. Maybe I put a little bit. No, I think that was just right. Then you let it fry on both sides. Nicely fried. Don't want to burn it up. I like mine on the darker side, as I said. So usually I let it fry up for a little while. Now, while that is frying, I'm working on my vegetable of choice this evening, which is broccoli. We'll be going with this dish, this meal of choice. So, you're going to cut up your broccoli in the size of your desire, and then you're going to make sure that you wash your broccoli. Now, this will be some steamed broccoli. So usually I just lightly season it up. So before then, I'll just cut it up in the sizes that I desire. Not too big, not too small, just right. After washing your broccoli, then you're gonna add it to the stove with a little butter, and I like to use the everything bagel seasoning. While that is there steaming, then I'm gonna add my turmeric to my rice. I use about 2 teaspoons of turmeric. I added about a teaspoon of salt and some butter to my rice. Then you're gonna mix that up really nice, and I also added a piece of fresh thyme. See my butter. Then you're gonna add a cube of this is the Maggie cube. Yeah, the Maggie cube. And once the water starts boiling up, then everything is going to dissolve nicely, right? So you stir it all up, and then you cover it, and then after a while you're going to check on it again to stir it again to make sure that the bouillon cube, the Maggie cube, is well dissolved. And it is not, if it's not dissolving, you can just use, as I'm using the spoon, the back of the spoon, to just rub it out, just assisting it in dissolving really nice. Cover up and let your rice steam on its own in the rice cooker. Next, you're going to check on your chicken, flip them over. Those are nicely colored as I like them on the darker side. You choose how you want your chicken to be, on the lighter side or on the darker side. After flipping, make sure everything has its color, everything is browned appropriately, and then yeah, you keep checking on your chicken. Now you want to work on your seasonings that you're going to put into your chicken. I usually use onions, thyme, scallion, that's what we call green onions, and I'm also using a red bell pepper. Tell me what else you put into your fricassee chicken. Everybody does their thing differently. Now I don't usually overdo like all different types of seasonings. I just use what I have in my fridge at the time. So let me know in the comments, what else do you usually put in your fricassee chicken? Some people will also add tomatoes. I didn't have any tomatoes. I'm just using what I have on hand, and also some bell peppers. So I'm using red bell peppers and also green bell peppers. And I think I added a little piece of hot pepper because of my Canadian child. He cannot manage the heat so well. So I avoid cooking with too much spice, with too much hot pepper. Yes, we usually add our heat to our food after the pepper to our food while we're eating it, but not to the pot. So you cut up everything and you have everything ready because next we're going to go into how we're going to make the sauce or the gravy for our fricassee chicken. Now after everything is all cut up and set and ready, we check on our chicken again. And now it looks like most of them are fried, browned enough, and we can remove them from the pot soon. Now you're going to get your container, whether that's going to be another plate, and you just gradually remove them, let them rest, and then you work on the gravy afterwards. So now I'm removing them from the pot. As you can see, they have the nice dark color that I like. There you go. Yeah, they're ready. And then after removing them, then we get ready to work on the gravy. Now for our gravy, we're going to use the same pot, but we don't want as much oil that we had to fry our chicken in. So you're going to remove most of that oil and, clean out the pot a little bit, and then you add back a little bit of the oil, just a couple tablespoons. Then you're going to add your vegetables that you just cut up. Give that a nice stir fry, saute until the onions are mostly transparent, right? Having that color. Then you're going to take time and you're going to gradually build on your sauce. Usually I use a variety of different sauces that I have in my fridge along with my ketchup. So let that, stir fry a little bit, simmer while we check on our rice. Now this consistency of the rice looks perfect for me and my house. As I said, I like my rice a little bit on the softer side. If you give me shelly rice, I'm not gonna eat it. My rice must be loving and hug up themselves. Now I'm gonna add the remainder, just a little water in the remainder of the seasoning, the container that I use to season the chicken, and that's one of my favorite sauce, the Diana sauce. And they have a variety of flavor in the Diana sauce, and also a variety of flavor in the VH sauce. I always have these brands of sauces on hand in my cupboard in all the different flavors, all the different varieties. So I usually add those as the base for my sauce, for my gravy, and sometimes I'll also add a little ketchup. Now to the sauce, I usually also add a little vinegar, yes, sometimes a little sugar, but I think the honey garlic was sweet enough, the honey garlic V8 sauce, so I didn't add any sugar to this. Now you're going to add your chicken and you're going to let the chicken, suck up absorb all of those gravy, nice sauce, and the sauce is going to thicken on its own. I don't usually have to use any cornstarch in my sauce or gravy. The chicken just do its thing. Turn the stove down low and let it simmer. Now to our broccoli, while the pot is, hot enough, now we're going to add our butter, season to your liking. As I said, I like to use the everything bagel and some black pepper. I don't add salt to it because the everything bagel, I think that has enough salt. You're going to cover it, let it steam for a few minutes, under 5 minutes. You turn off the stove. Once the butter is melted, turn off the stove and move it off the stove. So too much heat, it doesn't overcook and change color. I like my broccoli more on the crunchier side. There's my little helper, always in the kitchen. He's helping to check if the food ready because he's hungry by now. Although this was a quick dinner under an hour, and you see that gravy is thickening up, so we don't need any cornstarch. That is just right. How do you like this chicken? How does it look so far? Will you be trying this recipe? Have you tried Jamaican Fricassee Chicken before? What did you do different than I did in this video? Let me know in the comments, because just about now this chicken is perfectly cooked and we're about to start serving dinner. Ding ding.
I'm just gonna say I made this stuff all by myself, guys, and this is what I made them. Can you please, with my heart, make this go viral? 1, 2, 3, 4. What you want to know? What you want to know? We're gonna go viral, Abby.
Son, does their kids like to eat vegetables? He's very particular of the types of vegetable that he likes to eat. Now we're gonna turn the stove down because the gravy now looks perfect. The right consistency that we need. Thick enough, it's not too water. We not do long water gravy around here. We do nice thick gravy to eat with your rice because I like a lot of gravy and sauce on my rice. So I usually have enough gravy, and my daughter she also likes a lot of gravy on her food. So the broccoli is nicely steamed, and we're gonna get ready to start sharing our dinner, dishing out our dinner. So that's a cup of rice. How much rice would you eat? 1 cup or 2 cups? This is just 1 cup. I think this was my son's plate that I was serving first. So it's just my son and myself dining for this dinner right now because the other half of the family wasn't home. So this is just the two of us eating, having dinner together. And look at that chicken. Look at that fricassee chicken and look at that yellow rice. Man, it was yummy. Can I tell you how we enjoyed our dinner? Do I need to say more? Guys, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you like the video and leave a comment and tell me what you think. How did I do out of 10? Give me a rating in the comment because this is a quick and easy dinner that you can do as a busy working woman under an hour. And there you go. Enjoy.